welcome to Boylesportsnews.com. I'm Nicola McGeady, and joining me now is a man who loves the Galway festival, Leon Blanche. Leon, you've been going for years, but this year you're hanging up your Galway boots and I'm going to be taking the seat. But just before you head off, I'm going to pick your brain for some tips. We've just opened, we're the first stop now with Galway top flat jockey and top national hunt jockey. First of all, let's take a look at the flat. Smullen, of course, riding for the Ballybrit master, Dermot Weld. Of course he has to be odds on.
Yeah, well, he's odds on and he is clear favourite, Pat Smullen, for the legend that is Mr. Weld. Ballybrit wouldn't be the same without Dermot Weld, and it's amazing if you followed him the last, I think, 3 or 4 years on every runner, you'd be up an absolute fortune. Us bookies, we dread.
Don't like Dermot Weld. 17 winners last year.
17 winners. It's unbelievable when you think that he plans these horses all year for 1 week. They get there in tip-top condition and they always run to their merits. He's a masterful trainer, and it's no surprise to see Pat Smullen at 1 to 6. But there's a young kid on the block in Joseph O'Brien, and he's trying to be Irish champion jockey. The likes of Pat Smullen, Johnny Murta, Fran Berry, they'll all be trying to outdo him in Galway and try and get a lead in that flat jockey championship. But for me, if you're having a bet, at 8 to 1, Joseph O'Brien to be flat jockey of the week at Galway, it's worth a couple of euro. You couldn't back Smullen at 1 to 6.
No, you have to look elsewhere.
And with a big powerful stable like Ballydoyle, Joseph always also rides for other trainers. He's been very successful for the likes of Willie McCreary. He's been on board for Charlie Swan, David Nagel. So Joseph will pick up other rides from different trainers, and he's the one that I would say will give it most to try and beat Smullen, and there'll be a bit of banter between the two of them. The young guy against the old pretender, but at 8 to 1, Joseph O'Brien, he's a big price.
Yeah, well, now moving on to top national hunt jockey, and of course people will back Ruby Walsh wherever he goes, because he tends to win people money more than not. He's the even money favourite, but who's going to rival him? Yeah,
this is a lot more tight. I mean, there's no such thing as a 1 to 6 favourite here for top national hunt jockey. We've got Ruby Walsh. You would imagine he'll obviously have to pick of Ireland's champion trainer Willie Mullins. The English trainers don't send as many over to Galway, but I remember 1 year Oslot for Paul Nicholls. It was a massive gamble. Ruby on board, did the business, won the Galway plate. So he'll be hoping that his English boss will send a couple over from this time. But Robbie McNamara is a very interesting rider. He's the young amateur rider who rides a lot for Dermot Weld. I can't remember how many winners he had at the festival last year, but he must have had at least 3 or 4. So he'll be a big player. But Davy Russell, a man for me who's currently Ireland's champion national hunt jockey. He's the Gigginstown #1, but he'll ride for a whole host of trainers. Tony Martin, Charles Burns, the likes of Henry de Bromhead. So Davy will have plenty of options. He'll have plenty of rides, and I'm going to give it to Davy at 9 to 2. I just think he's better value than Ruby at evens, or even Robbie at 4 to 1.
Well, you're being very daring and taking a risk, which I like. Punters don't want the favourites all the time.
No, and it's Galway, Nicola. So you'll see, for the first time in your career, you'll be down at Ballybrit for the entire week, and you'll see anything goes at the Galway Festival. And I mean anything.